About what I've been working on lately. First off, I'm a sculptor and a metalworker. I've owned my own business for the last 12 years on the North Shore of Staten Island here, doing mostly metal fabrication, sculptural work, architectural things, furniture, that sort of thing. This is one of my sculptures that I did recently. It's a giant pendulum. It is 100 feet tall. The pendulum itself weighs about 500 pounds, and you can see it's hanging from this man lift there, and it swings over a pond of salt. That pond of salt weighs almost 140,000 pounds. So this was at a local art festival, and what's really cool about pendulums is that they're pretty predictable. They swing back and forth. This one was actually drawing lines in the salt pool that it was hanging over. So as it would swing back and forth, you can see these patterns would develop. It was a really, really cool piece. Did a little engineering. Have never built a pendulum before, but I knew what I was going to do. So sometimes, oops, back up one there, things aren't necessarily as predictable as that pendulum, okay? My shop is about 200 yards from the water. And on the North Shore of Staten Island, when Sandy hit, this is what it looked like, okay? I think everybody knows the amount of destruction and decimation that Sandy brought to Staten Island. This is actually a picture of my shop, sort of a bird's eye view from the office, which was 8 feet above the ground floor. Now it's a metal shop, okay? Stuff doesn't float away. It just corroded. So we spent days, cleaning and organizing and oiling tools to try and save them. Right around the same time, the city's Economic Development Corporation had put out a request for proposals for a business incubator in Staten Island. And while we were standing around these tables cleaning things with friends and community members that would come by, and we would started thinking about what we do here, right? This had been my personal space of making stuff. I've been a maker all my life, sculptures, house parts, all kinds of things. I'm always making stuff. When I have my day off, I go and make stuff. I turn the phones off in the shop and I make something for me. So we filled out the proposal. And our proposal was that if we can teach people how to make things, they can make businesses in the area, they can make their lives better, make our community better through their own ideas and making products or things for their own homes. So my wife there in the white and I started hosting events, bringing the community together and saying, what would you guys like to see on the island? What would you like to see in this neighborhood? What type of things can you volunteer to help your community? What kind of things do you want to learn? So this is my metal shop before we really did anything to the space. We took the information from these meetings and we started moving equipment around and organizing the space to make a makerspace. Now, a makerspace is a collaborative workshop, and we wanted ours to be a community-based collaborative workshop. We started working on the space after we were doing the cleanup. It took us about a month to actually clean the space up enough that we could function in there. And we really consider ourselves very, very lucky. As we go through and do these community cleanup days and volunteer days, we were still developing ideas. And people started to come around and help us work on these things. This space is the space next door. We were awarded the proposal, by the way, right around the same time. And we rented the space next door. This space is right next door to my metal shop. And it had 6 flooded cars in it and about an inch of mud, dried mud. No fish, but, it was a chore to clean it out, push the cars out of the space, drag them out. And we started, building the space out and making it where we could utilize the space. We started receiving machinery donations from people who knew about the project, who had equipment that they weren't necessarily using, that they could donate to the space to help us run classes and teach people how to use this stuff. That's Jim. He's one of our woodworking instructors. And we got all the big equipment in the space. So I already had a metal shop, and most of that equipment was fine. When we knew Sandy was coming, we picked up what we could up on cranes and up on the tables. We tried to put everything that we could carry up the staircase in the office, try and save as much as we can. We still ended up recycling about 18,000 pounds of equipment and material that was corroded beyond use. So, we brought this equipment in and we moved it around, and then we'd move it around again until we got it in the right place. But it was all volunteers that would come in and help us out, and we had some fun messing around with it. Now, I don't remember the point of that picture, but we were all pointing at each other. I think it was somebody's fault for something. So we started, fitting out the space. This picture, we're building what became low cubicle walls for studio spaces for our members. So people can be in here working, and they could be working in their own space, but you're in a space with other people, and you know they're there, and you can see somebody's in there working. You can see what they're working on. You can ask them for help on your projects or offer advice on theirs, and it's really kind of a unique space, right? Not total classroom, not total art studio. It's a little more collaborative than that. This picture here is that same room that had the dumpster in it and the 6 cars and the inch of mud. So it cleaned up pretty good. As we were approaching our official launch, we held family workshops where parents and their kids came in, and we actually built medieval siege devices called trebuchets. And the idea was we were going to have a launch of our space, we were going to have a party, and then we're launching our space. So at our opening, we had the politicians launching these trebuchets that kids and their parents made. So they were launching balls all the way across the space. It was a great fun. But, something really amazing happens when you get people together and you teach them skills, right? Parents and kids working together and solving problems and creating things is really empowering, right? So I love this shot. She's so proud of that bag. And it's that collaboration, that relationship among families that we're trying to encourage. So in our space, we have a wood shop, a metal shop. We've built out a sewing room, a computer lab, a conference room where people can come in and have meetings and sit down in an area where there's not somebody grinding steel next to you. It is very important to have those spaces clean. This is a shot of Annie making a dovetail box. She's not only making a box, but she made the mallet that she's using. So, it's very empowering for people to be able to say, I made that, right? We started holding sort of a takeoff on the TED Talk. We call it the Tech Talk, right? But tech standing for the economics of culture. And the idea between these talks is to bring community members together, but also businesses and artists. There's a lot of development coming on the North Shore of Staten Island, and we feel that it's very important to be able to have these discussions amongst the people who are already here and find out how we can get a foothold, how we can remain a part of the community as this development happens. We're not trying to change the development, we're not trying to stop it. We just want to make sure that we remain a vital part of it as members of the community. So, you know, you've got business owners and artists, and we're going down this road, we're all going the same direction, but nobody's been talking to each other. So this is sort of an effort to put everybody in the same room and have those conversations. You know, we held our first hackathon. Now, a hackathon is where we pitch some ideas. This one we actually pitched ideas on Friday night at 9 p.m. And over the course of the next 2 days, we developed prototypes on 3 projects. So one of them was a remote landmine detecting device, which actually could sense metal in the ground and drop a marker, utilizing some duct tape and a calculator and an AM radio. Very low tech, but it worked. We also developed a tweeting trash can and a community-based monitor that for people who don't necessarily have a smartphone in their pocket, they can still get important information. That project's actually in its prototype stage. They're developing 10 of them right now. So that'll be cool. Hopefully those will be out on the street sometime soon. About 2.5 months ago, we started holding classes, or hosting classes from the local schools and summer groups. This is a picture of Mrs. G, who is a local school teacher, and she brought her students down, and they learned how to make stuff. And we talk about what we do in the shop as makers and try to kind of get them to understand that it's not just a point-and-click world, right? That it takes somebody to put that phone together that's in their pocket, you know, that it takes real things, real physical things, physicality of objects manipulated to create the world around us. So we took some steel, and I gave the kids a challenge. See who can bend it. Can you bend this? You know, it's 1.5 inches by half thick steel bar. Bend it. Go ahead. And you see all the kids trying and trying. And then we talk about the metallurgy, and we heat it up, and we let the teacher bend it. But the kids get a huge kick out of it, and they get really excited seeing something actually made or manipulated or twisted bar like this. So over the last 2 months, we've actually done workshops with over 520 kids, which is kind of staggering for a metal worker, you know. In addition to the low-tech stuff, the hands-on stuff, the woodworking, the metalworking, the noisy stuff, the dusty stuff, we're also working on the high-tech stuff. So we have 3D printers, we have CNC routers, we have design software. We're holding classes in 3D design where people can design stuff in computer space and send it over to the printer and print it out. We also have a music engineering workshop, which is a lot of fun, and it's developed into a program. We've actually teamed up with Department of Probation to help 18 to 25-year-old kids who need a second start. Okay? This is a picture of our Valentine's welding class. Right? Valentine's this past year fell on Friday. It was a perfect opportunity for us to host a date night. Everybody here had a blast. It was a great learning experience, and we taught them how to use a plasma cutter, which is a crazy thing that uses a 33,000 degree arc to cut steel, and a welder, and they cut out hearts and their names, and it was really a fun class. And you've got artists, lawyers, accountants, homemakers, and everybody learned something in this, right? And you can see me in the back. I'm very happy with this, right? So one more slide for you. This picture, right? This is a great project. This was with a workshop with kids, and it's a spaghetti and marshmallow building challenge that we did. See how big of a structure you can build using marshmallow and spaghettis, right? This piece that this girl is sitting in front of is almost a 4-foot cube that her and her teammates made. After the marshmallows dried, over the next day or so, you could literally pick up the entire thing and walk around with it. Just pick it up in the middle. It was hugely sturdy. And what I want to show you about this is that smile. Because it's the same one those guys have. Okay? Thank you.